exciting is it just to be here? You've been on some different teams, of course, but
Yeah.
the Cowboys.
It's pretty cool. I mean, as a kid growing up and being a fan of college football and NFL football, you always think there's a few teams that are just up there, on your list, and this was one of them. So when I got the chance to come here, I was kind of living out like a little childhood, like, gosh, look at Cowboys and the Star and the pictures and, Tony Dorsett and Staubach and all those guys, and I got a seat in the office. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
But the facility is a decent facility.
Yeah, no complaints.
How about just what you're focused on doing here, and obviously the special team? When you get here, what's the number one goal for a special team coordinator?
Yeah, well, right now I've been looking at the personnel that was here, who's returning and who is a free agent that we might want to have come back. So right now it's a lot of personnel study from our current team. And then I've only been here a week, and we're starting to just dive into a little reinvention of myself, whether it's schematics or, progression of technique install. So it's kind of just a chance, when I come to a new team to say, okay, what have I done in the past that I've liked? What have I done in the past that I can do better? And it's a chance for me with the new team to kind of reinvent myself and, think about all the things that I've done and how I can do it better.
What are the components of a successful special teams unit?
I think a big thing is chemistry. A lot of the successes on special teams, I think, have a lot to do with intangibles, really. The personnel is a huge part of it, and the player development is a huge part of it, but when you can get a group of running backs, linebackers, tight ends, receivers, DBs, to become cohesive and make it seem like those guys are very valuable to a football team, then I think that's probably the biggest component to being successful on special teams is building chemistry, building pride, and then getting them to feel like they're important when a lot of times, they're backups on offense and defense, but they're a starter on special teams, and that's kind of my message to them that, you're important to this football team. They really say it's a third, and, that's what it is. And I think Coach McCarthy, when I talked to him, has that mindset that this is going to be an important part of our football team, and that was all I needed to hear.
Do you think the importance of special teams to this team is because of how poor it played last year?
I can't answer to that. I don't know. So I'm coming into this just with a blank slate for myself and for every person who's been on this team, and I look forward to building it how I want to build it, as far as the in the meeting room on the practice field type. But what's happened here in the past, I can't speak to that, but I just know in the future, I look forward to getting my hands on the players and teaching them some of the things that we want to dive into and getting them to become prideful in what they do.
You've been a guy that's been really aggressive with fakes or with things like that. Is that something, where did that kind of come from? And also, you have to kind of convince the head coach to be aggressive with you sometimes?
Yeah. I was fortunate probably in Oakland, to have a punter like Shane Leckler, who was a quarterback, really at Texas A&M early in his days. So you're able to do some things with that. And then when I got to St. Louis in 2012, we got Johnny Hecker as an undrafted punter, and he was a high school quarterback, really could have been a college quarterback. So there's been, the punters I've worked with the last 12 years have been Shane Leckler and Johnny Hecker. Lucky me.
Right.
So I've learned a lot from them. And we spent a lot of time talking about, how can we attack a punt return team like an offense would. And so a lot of it early in St. Louis was born out of desperation because we needed to sometimes make some plays.
Right.
And then it became kind of a part of just what the punt team or field goal team or any phase would be. So it was just a developmental thing that just kind of, evolved over the years. And having head coaches that were willing to, listen, and as long as it was sound, give it a shot in the game. Yep.
Have you had a chance to look at much film yet to see?
Oh, yeah.
In terms of first blush?
Yeah, I would say, I've been here about a week and a half, and my family's still in LA. So have I watched film? Yes, pretty much like it's been during the season. So there's still a long way to go. So I probably, don't want to speak on any players or anything like that yet. But it's fun to look at my new team, through the lens of I don't really know these guys, except the interesting part is when I was in LA, we played the Cowboys in 2017, 2018 playoffs, and then even last year. So I looked at my old scouting reports when I was with the Rams, how I evaluated these special teams players from a really critical standpoint with no biases because I didn't know them. It was just strictly a performance-based, evaluation. But, it's all clean slate, and I'm excited to coach the guys we'll have back.